everybody, welcome to the Steve Dave Double Shot Movie Review video series on YouTube. I'm Steve.
And I'm Dave.
And tonight we got a double feature for you of sorts, coming at you with
Nightmare versus Nightmare. That would be the original Nightmare on Elm Street
1984
versus the remake
2010. Let's kick it off with the 1984 release, groundbreaking movie, I would say.
Oh, I'd agree.
Wes Craven, at his finest. Such a horror name, that Wes Craven.
Wes Craven. Yeah, it's a very horror name.
Seeps of horror. You know, most people I think have seen this, and
except for your wife.
Except for my wife, she just now saw it
for the first time yesterday.
You know.
And she's like 26.
Yeah, 25.
Whatever.
But yeah. Anyway, this movie. This, you know, slashers up until this point, this came out in '84, slashers up until this point hadn't so much deal with supernatural as far as the dream world and alternate dimensions and things of that sort. They only stayed in reality, even if the guy was coming back to life from the dead.
They mainly stayed on some type of folklore urban legend.
They did. This one, Wes Craven was inspired by an article he read about a Japanese kid? Cambodian kid who died in a nightmare. Supposedly died.
He suffered from night terrors.
Night terrors.
And he actually ran an extension cord to his room to the coffee maker. He was taking pills. He was doing everything the kids in all the movies do. And his folks kept taking him to doctors. And just like in the movies, they all told him all he needs is a good night's sleep. And then one night he finally did fall asleep. The parents were like, finally. And then they heard the most like blood-curdling scream ever, ran up to his room and found him dead. He died from a night terror. And other people have done that since then. It does happen.
Some stuff I don't want to deal with.
That's why I'm glad I sleep like a baby.
Yeah, I sleep with anything. I even snore.
But he did. Well, he took that, but he did kind of take, well, I said folklore and urban legend with Jason and Michael Myers
predates this.
But he kind of did a folklore thing, or he made it into a folklore with Freddy Krueger being a child murderer.
Boogeyman of the town.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
but he was a real boogeyman.
Underline that child murderer in this one, buddy.
But you do find out, if you see a great documentary on Nightmare on Elm Street called Never Sleep Again, that he actually was going to be a child molester in that, but because of the time, they played that down.
And we recommend that documentary highly.
Great fucking documentary.
4 hours, everything you ever wanted to know about this franchise.
Every fucking thing.
Everything.
They get everybody back for interviews except Johnny Depp.
Of course.
Because he's got stuff to do.
He's got better things to do.
But with that though, this was the movie that broke Wes Craven and New Line.
It is. It bankrolled New Line for a number of years, from what I understand. Well, franchising itself. Although now New Line is defunct. And, you know... Robert
Englund made him a household name.
It spawned, if you want to count, Freddy vs. Jason, 7 total sequels. We can't recommend all of them, but...
Merchandising like crazy.
Yeah, merchandise. Basically, Freddy Krueger is the boogeyman, by the way, in this.
Great character,
and,
too.
He's pretty much the horror icon of the 80s.
Yeah, him and Jason, but he's number one, and that's not by choice. That's just he's a little more recognizable.
He's even in music videos
with the Fat Boys.
Fat Boys and Dawkins.
And but basically, what it is you have a group of teenagers who are all suffering from these bad dreams. Freddy Krueger's hunting them in their dreams and torturing them. He gives off on it. The cool thing is in this, the teenagers still look like normal teenagers.
They do.
Look like regular kids you'd see every day. They're good-looking ones. They're kind of not so good-looking ones. In the background as extras. And Freddy is a wonderful character because in this is my favorite incarnation of him out of all the sequels, because in this he looked like a raggedy, nasty fucking hobo.
He does look very just dirty.
Yeah, like he just crawled out of a fucking ditch. His clothes don't fit him well. They're all sagging off of him. His glove looks like
he's a skeezer.
Something he made. Like it was in the movie opens with him making it, but it does look like something that was, you know, homespun.
Let me put too that the kids are likable in this movie.
Yeah, you
get to know them.
Yeah, and you don't really want anything bad to happen to them.
You care about them.
It's one thing a lot of movies lack from the 90s up, is the kids aren't real kids. Brain Scan was the last one with real kids.
Yeah.
Eddie Furlong was, you know. But anyway, that was another review.
So, Nightmare on Elm Street.
I mean, Hunting Nancy.
Hunting Nancy. She reappears in part 3. Mm-hmm. Part 2, they took a little detour of the homosexual persuasion. But part 3 was good too. Anything else to say about it?
Plenty more to say, but we go on, but it's really, if you haven't seen it, you either live in a cave or you're too young.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it and you're an aficionado of horror, sci-fi, or whatever, for some fucked up reason you still haven't seen it, watch it. Don't even rent it, just go buy it. It's
buy
one
it.
of Wes Craven's best movies, and this is also proof of Wes Craven being a hit or miss director. Because when he hits it, he hits it. And when he misses, Lord Almighty, he fucking misses.
Wes Craven.
Yeah. But, I'll go 5 stars on that as a classic. Loved it when I was a kid. I was Freddy in 4th grade. I was Freddy in 5th grade. Halloween's. Freddy's great. You got the action figure. I've painted Freddy models.
Let me say something else. The effects in this. I don't want to jump too far ahead, but the effects. There's an effect where Freddy is coming out of the wall.
Oh.
It's a lot more believable in this one.
A lot creepier too, because it's
yeah.
It's just so simple, effective, and it was just a latex wall.
Johnny Depp's death is pretty epic too.
Oh, this movie also introduced the world to Johnny Depp. But what broke him was him replacing Jeff Yeager on 21 Jump Street.
But yeah, I gotta sign off too. 5 stars for Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984.
5 stars.
5 stars. Great poster too. Check. Oh, you'll see.
Back when movie posters were.
When they were good. Yes. Here's a shot for Wes Craven.
So, Wes Craven, Robert Englund, Johnny Depp, Freddy Krueger. Welcome back, world. He's still Steve.
And I'm Dave.
And we're back at you with Nightmare on Elm Street 2010, the remake. And viewer, our one loyal guy, I know what you're thinking. How is it these guys are always reviewing these really great underground movies or whatever, or classics or what have you, and yet they own the copy of the remake? Well, this is my copy. And the reason why I own it is because it wasn't that bad. Out of all, as far as remakes go, it was better than the Texas Chainsaw, and I liked it a little better than the Friday. But basically what this is a redone version from Platinum Dunes. Is it a reboot, a reimagining, or a remake?
A little of both the reimagining and the remake.
It's a re-up. Whatever.
The writer took his little liberties and changing little details here and there, such as relationship statuses and storyline.
There was no Rod Lane.
Nah. And there was, nobody was really in a relationship in this one.
No, which was okay.
Well, it's not a biggie, but...
He mashed a little from 1, 2, and 3, but it mainly was 1. Nancy in this one I did not like as much as Heather Langenkamp.
Exactly what I was going to say. Nancy is not likable in this.
She's a little mousy and bitchy.
A mousy art fag, and she just kind of... She's not
her art
warm up to.
Her art keeps the dreams away.
Yeah, she's just...
She stays up at night with her iPod earphones in. And
let me go ahead.
The parents. One thing I'll slam on this as opposed to this. Tina's mom, when she wakes her up, is a fucking... You can tell she's been getting drunk and pounded by some strange dude.
She's got it going on.
The parents are more parental in this. All the parents look like
they're just
LL Bean models.
Yeah, and they're jaded with everything.
Yeah, they just look a little...
I gotta say, man, the only thing I like about this one is Jackie Earl Haley.
Jackie Earl Haley.
Jackie Earl Haley. Jakey.
Jackie Earl.
I hate the kids. I think this movie suffers.
Didn't like them. They were too fashionable, too pretty.
It's too emo. Is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's cliche as the word is. The kids are fucking emo in this
and you don't
movie.
believe them as regular kids. You just don't believe them.
There's no heart in it. It's just like, yeah, we're fucking sad.
Yeah, it's just...
And, you know, I mean, I can't... It's a product of the last decade of horror, I guess you could say.
And Jackie Earle Haley as Freddy, as you mentioned before, a lot of people are Freddy is Robert Englund, and that's true. Robert Englund made that fucking part. I have to admit, in a world where if there was no Robert Englund, he would be Freddy.
Yeah.
Jackie Earle Haley did a great job because I think what he did so well is he didn't try to mimic Robert Englund.
He did. He made it his own.
He did his own.
A little more sinister, less comical.
Oh, a little more evil.
Bringing the creep factor up a bit higher.
And in this, one thing that I will say it's the only thing that has over the original, is he's a child molester.
He's a child, not a child killer in this.
No, he's a child molester.
Only molesting the kids at a daycare. That was never mentioned in any of the other movies.
And the parents find out, they team up, and
they burn his ass.
They burn his ass up. He comes back for the kids later.
This movie, I will say it's better than the TCM remake and the Friday the 13th, although
Friday the 13th was now
really a remake.
Out of the remake of the Holy Quadrilogy of Halloween and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Friday, and Nightmare. The real untouchable ones, I would have said, would have been Halloween and Texas Chainsaw. And the reason for that is those movies were put together by the skin of those people's teeth. Carpenter and Hooper really had to pull, and I'm not saying making Nightmare and making Friday was a walk through the park for any of those people. But what I'm saying is that was like guerrilla filmmaking.
Yeah,
you know, that was.
TCM really, almost looks like a documentary.
Yeah, it's so grainy and just so. And there's just something, an essence or something those two films carry that cannot be captured.
Atmosphere is the word you're looking for.
And the original Friday has a little bit, and the original Nightmare does. But as far as remakes go, I would have said leave the other two alone. Friday and Nightmare, I wasn't a fan of them remaking those. But I gave all the remakes a shot. And I'll say as the remakes go, Friday and Nightmare were the two best. I could watch them again. Texas Chainsaw was a hunk of shit, and Halloween was fucking retarded. But I'd say this is worth a watch. I own it I don't know, in a weird way I'm a completist because I have all the Nightmare movies. I have Jason vs. Freddy, so I got and I got it for Jackie Earle Haley. He's a good natural creep.
It'll be interesting to see what they do with the sequels if those are made.
That was one clever thing they did, though. The ending of this is a good sequel ending, but it's also good if it's left alone. Mm-hmm. It'll work just fine as being left alone. So, I'd give it 2.5, but those are 2.5 positive 2.5 stars.
I'm only going 2, and that's just for Jackie Earle Haley.
So, I'd give it 2.5. But if you've never seen either, get this one.
Definitely.
This one.
I'll tell you what though.
If you were born after 1990, no one cares what you think.
Exactly.
So,
I'll tell you what though, this movie, the fucking trailer when it came out, like 3 or 4 months before it came out, I was so hyped. In fact, if you don't want to watch it, just watch the trailer.
Yeah,
I was so
we
pumped.
were so against it.
Yeah.
And then we saw the trailer. Because you called me and you were all fucking A.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck you, man. Fuck that. And then I watched the trailer and I was like, oh,
it's going to be awesome. They got it right this time, Platinum Dunes. But
well, as compared to Platinum Dunes goes, though, they did. Compared to how they go. Looking at their track record. If they keep on this, it could only get better. If they keep going up like they are.
I wonder if they're doing Hellraiser.
I don't know.
That's your man, Pinhead there.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Who
knows what they'll do next?
But yeah, that's yeah. So we got a 5 and a 2.
Yeah.
And there you have it.
Whoop-de-doo.
Nightmare on Elm Street versus Nightmare on Elm Street. The original, of course, wins because what's the original? It's just better.
You can't front.
So
can't go front.
No, you can't. You can't. So this shot will go to Wes Craven's Robert Englund
and the sequels that follow it.
Yeah. Oh, this was better than New Nightmare.
Yeah.
And Freddy's Dead.
Anything's better than Freddy's Dead.
No, not New Nightmare.
For a later episode, we shall see.